Welcome to the Dodger Download, the official podcast of the Fort Dodge Community School District. Each episode brings you the latest updates from our schools, including school board recaps, interviews with educators, staff, and students, plus upcoming events and stories from around the district. Whether you're a parent, student, or community member, stay connected to what's happening in the Dodger Nation. Let's dive into this episode of the Dodger Download. All right, welcome to the Dodger Download. I'm Superintendent Josh Porter, and today I have two of our school guidance counselors here with us today. So whether you're a parent, student, or just a proud community member or a proud Dodger, thanks for following. This podcast is proudly sponsored by CNOS and UnityPoint Orthopedics, valued partners of Fort Dodge Community Schools. Their commitment to student athletes' health helps keep our program strong and our kids competing safely. Thank you for supporting Dodger Nation. Now it's time for board tidbits. So Memorial Day was Monday. Tuesday, we had our regular board meeting on Tuesday, so moved to a Tuesday night. Throws off the schedule a little bit, but working around the holiday. We had just a very few little action items. One thing, we bought a new lift. So we bought a new car lift, a 12,000-pound lift, which means it can lift a 12,000-pound vehicle for changing tires, doing things that currently don't have a lift out at the transportation department. It actually services almost all of our vehicles out there. So school district purchased a new lift, helped those guys out a little bit. So the old school, you get a flat tire, you jack up the car. Maybe we don't have to do that so much, and I'm sure this will be a little bit more efficient than our current processes. So actually, and shout out to Larry and Terry out there. They've been out there for years and years. They're actually both retiring this year. So we got a new guy, Chad Lee, that's been with us, been training for a couple months since March. So finding a diesel mechanic is not always easy. So we're excited Chad's there and excited we can get him a new lift, maybe to make his job a little bit more a little easier. Then we employee handbooks. I know everybody gets excited about employee handbooks. Yep. Okay. Woohoo. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of changes. Sometimes if there's an address change or, personnel changes, we put those in there. They're a fluid thing. So, if something changes in the next month or two, then we'll update the handbook again. We also had some recognition. ECC did an update and did a recognition update just about the life of a child at the ECC. So they celebrated a bunch of kids getting off of IEPs. They celebrated the growth of a young man named Waylon. So that was kind of cool. Brought him and his family in. Their mom did a little testimonial, just a thank you to the district and to the admin there, which was kind of cool. So you guys have been around education a long time. Understand that's a big milestone to get off an IEP, and for kids to do that before they get into first grade is really awesome. So. And that is it for board tidbits. Well, hey, I'm excited for today's episode. I got two of our school guidance counselors. I have Tyler Winter from the middle school, and I have Scott Timmerman for the high school. So from the high school. Excited to have these guys here. We're going to just talk about the day in life of a school guidance counselor a little bit. They'll give you a little bit of background. So, Tyler, give us a little rundown.
Yeah, so I'm actually a 2008 Fort Dodge grad, so born and raised here in Fort Dodge. After high school, went to Iowa Central for 3 semesters and then transferred over to Morningside College in Sioux City. When I graduated from Morningside, I ended up at UNI for grad school. Upon completion of that, I went to work at Waterloo West High School. So I was there for 3 years as a high school counselor. And then job came open here in Fort Dodge, and my wife and I always knew that we wanted to move back. We just didn't know how quickly that would happen. Yep. She was in her first year of teaching at the time, so she was only over in Waterloo teaching for 1 year. So then came back here, and I'm finishing up my 9th year at the middle school. It's kind of a change for me going from the high school level to the middle school. They're a lot smaller, a lot of different issues than we work with at the high school level. Coach football for the high school, coach middle school basketball, boys basketball for 8th graders, and then 8th graders for track as well. So
just a little busy. Just a little busy. It's a little busy.
3 kids at home, 3 young kids. Yeah. So, we're constantly running all over the place.
Last
Super
day of
busy.
school. So what year are you finishing up
For
of education?
this would be end of year 12.
End of year
for me.
12. Well, there you go.
Just a
And
newbie.
just a little bit,
Just a
just a little
newbie.
bit behind you.
Yeah. Mr. Timmerman?
I've been here for 31 years. I started out as a classroom teacher,
Yep.
social studies, specifically world studies, economics, sociology were my areas. And then I moved into counseling, where I've been a counselor now for 28 years. Like Tyler, I've done some coaching. I've coached everything from 7th grade football, high school boys basketball, high school girls basketball, high school girls track, and really have enjoyed my time here.
Yeah.
Like now I've been here long enough that I was there when you both were in school there. So
I was going to mention that. I remember when you were.
I've hit that point
A
where I get a
counselor.
lot of students whose parents I had as students or were in school since I've been there. So that's kind of neat.
I don't know if I know where you grew up at. Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in small town Iowa, Northwood, Iowa.
Northwood, Iowa.
So right up by the Minnesota border.
Yep.
So coming to Fort Dodge right out of college was a big culture shock for me.
Yep.
Growing up in a farming community. Back then there was no casino up there, so
Yeah.
it was your old time small town Iowa.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. You guys work two different buildings. So you're finishing year 31?
Yes.
Yep. I talked to my wife this morning. She's finishing 21. This is year 19 in education for me. So you're
It's a
not
long
that
time. I'm not that far
you're
behind.
not that far behind. So yeah, I do love it though because we took a picture with our kids this morning out in front of the house, last day of school. My mom or my wife's grandma was a teacher. Her mom was a teacher. Her mom and dad both were teachers. My wife's a teacher. I'm in education. I taught, now in administration. And honestly, I hope one of my kids goes into education. It's kind of a family thing. And I think all of us have found pretty good lifestyle working in the field of education. And, I hope one of my kids chooses, if not more than one.
Yeah, I can't imagine like what life would be like not being education. Like from kindergarten until now, I've lived the same calendar. Like the school calendar is my life.
Is
Like
your
I don't
life.
know any
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you,
That's
and
same with me.
Yep.
My mom retiring this year from Behavior.
his mom was just on her last episode.
Yep. My wife's a teacher at the high school.
Yep.
My sister-in-law teaches special education down in the Waukee area. My other sister-in-law was a teacher for a while, and now works for the AEA down. They live down in Grimes. My brother-in-law is a teacher. My dad has a teaching degree.
Yeah.
Never really taught, but he has a teaching degree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of a family
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah, it's a good profession. I don't think there's, people kind of shy away or talk about it. I'm like, hey, I'd love for my kids to go into education someday. So, well, two different buildings, high school, middle school. Probably days look completely different for you guys. What's it look like? There's probably not really every day is probably a little different for you at the high school a little bit, right?
It is. You come into the day with a plan, but you know that your plan can get thrown out the window right away. As soon as you walk in the door, something could have happened overnight, something could have happened over the weekend. But your structure plan is you have certain duties and responsibilities you have to, fulfill. But even if it's a regular weekly scheduled meeting that you have to be in, there's something that can come up that can prevent you. So it really is flexibility. Like you have to be ready to change what you think you're going to do and then put on a different hat. Working with individual students, you never know what's going to happen, and every student is unique, so their situation is different. You can't think you're going to address it the same way you did the last time the situation came up. So I like that flexibility. Like when I was a classroom teacher, you had some of that go on, but you pretty much had a structure. You knew what period you were teaching, what you were teaching. You practiced your lessons. You knew what was going to go on. But as a counselor, like I said, I have duties, but there's other times where none of those duties happen because so much comes up during the day.
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it is just it's never the same. Every day is a little bit different. But just making sure we find that time to collaborate with the teachers, collaborate with admin, support staff that we have at the middle school.
Middle school's a different beast a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
all
Go
sorts of
from
stuff that
go
comes
from
up.
happy and jumping around to crying in about 5 seconds, or the worst day
100%.
ever.
100%. But yeah, I can come in with plan and say, hey, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Most of the time that never ends up happening.
So you guys do a lot of work. I know a lot of what you guys are doing is supporting students individually. Do either one of you have any like group things? I think people think that maybe that's all that happens, but I think you guys do some group things at all, or get into classrooms?
Yeah. Last year, we started doing a lot of our career and college readiness stuff going into classrooms. Yeah. In the past, it's kind of been on teachers to complete those, but myself and Trish Gobrecht, we decided, hey, we're going to get in front of kids. Unfortunately, I don't always get to meet all the kids, right. So that's an easy way for us to get in front of all of them. But working through our youth science stuff, starting to get that idea of what they want to do in the future. I know a big push at the middle school, at least, was trying to beef up our tier 2 systems for Character Strong. Yeah. So we met quite a bit throughout the school year to try to get things up and ready. And part of that would be running some small groups, focusing on some strategic students to help them, support them.
Tell people a little bit what Character Strong is. I don't know if everybody knows what that is.
Essentially, our it's like a tiered system of support for students. So tier 1 is kind of your baseline for everybody. Like everybody gets this instruction. Everybody gets this. It's really focused on like the social emotional piece. Yeah. So tier 1, everybody gets. Our tier 2 system would then be more of a strategic, hey, if a student is struggling with this skill or this skill, it's our way to address that and help them build that skill up and become better. So. Yeah.
Listen to you talk about the tier system is another thing I like about counseling, because we're on all stages of that, like all tiers. Sure. We have a role in that, whether it's the universal or right down to that very small percentage of students that need something specific, then we're part of that process, planning or actually implementing that with them. For groups at the high school over the years, a lot of years there, so we've done a lot of different types of groups. We've done grief groups. We've done credit deficient groups with students to try to keep them focused or get them back on track. This year, we did a group for seniors that we just felt like needed a little bit of extra oversight as they went through the year to make sure they weren't missing things, and saw some good success with some of those students there. Next year, I know Mrs. Beck and I are talking about doing a group of new students that are new to the district, have never been in Fort Dodge before, because we feel like, there's things that we can do to make them feel more welcome and more at home at their new school. So we're really going to try to get that started when we come back.
Yeah. What's the most difficult part of the job?
I would say from when I started to where I'm at now, like one of the conversations that we have a lot is about resiliency with our kids. Like we have some kids that don't necessarily want to do hard things. So having that conversation with them and trying to motivate them and showing them, hey, down the road, your habits that you're creating right now are going to impact you. Like whether you're in 7th grade, you get to 8th grade, then 9th grade, like these habits you're building for your future. So just the resiliency and being able to do hard things is kind of a big topic that I've seen more of our conversations at the middle school with kids.
Along those same lines, I was thinking like getting students to understand or be willing to accept it's not always what they want versus what they need. And I feel fortunate at the high school that I get to work with my students for all 4 years. Just thinking about that, I had a student that just graduated this year. When she was a freshman, it was all about what she wanted. And I kept talking about what she needed, and we didn't see eye to eye a lot. Yeah. And then she kind of hit that sophomore, junior year, and she really made that change where she was understanding and connecting her goals with what she needed versus what she wanted. And she took care of business and graduated and now gets to go to college.
Yeah. I figured the dirty word of what's the worst part about, or the hardest part would be schedules and scheduling and try to get people organized.
I didn't want to bring that up.
Yeah. Well, they're really complex. So I was a middle school principal, trying to create a schedule, and that gets super complex because you're trying to meet the needs of all the kids. And I think Fort Dodge does a really good job we have tons of options for kids, especially at the high school, the middle school level. It is just building a schedule and finding something that's going to make most people happy, because we're not going to make everybody happy, is really, really difficult. And then you go to the high school, and then there's tons of options. And then, should you take a welding class, or do you want to take we'll just say foods, whatever, you can't always, there's not enough room for everybody to take foods, and so then maybe you have to take something you don't want. And, and then you throw the college courses on there for kids when they're eligible or want to start taking college courses. It's complex.
Yeah, it's very complex. And as you know, staffing can make that even more complicated.
Correct.
Finding the staff for those classes that the students want to take. And then we have students that want to take so many things that there's not enough room for them to take what they want, and then they have to make hard choices. So the scheduling is a complex piece to try to tackle. And
if people are listening, I sometimes life is about choices, right? So sometimes you have to make a hard choice, and make the choice that, I'd much rather make that hard choice early on, and give you opportunities as you move forward. But with that, I would encourage families, like if you have concerns or you want to talk through your schedule, reach out to your students' guidance counselor or school counselor. Like, reach out to them. Like, they will help you. They will explain to you why. We don't tell kids no just to say no, right? Like, there's a reason why you can't be in certain things, or we have to make those hard choices. And I know kids are the advocates, kind of, especially at the high school. We work with the kids first. But if parents have questions or need help understanding, just ask. Like,
reach out.
Yeah, definitely. And we get a lot of questions about scheduling from parents, because our schedule at the high school may be different than what they experienced when they were in high school. Yeah. Like, a lot of them were in a traditional schedule, 2 semesters, and we were in a different type of schedule. So sometimes it's just explaining to them, how the schedule works at the high school.
Yeah. And it's hard to understand, right? Especially on a deep level. It's pretty difficult. What would be something, what do you guys enjoy most, over the years or within the course of a year? What's a success story or just something that you really enjoy about coming to work every day?
I would say it is the success stories. Because we just came off of graduation, that's what's fresh in my mind. But I can think of 3 specific students this year that at the start of the year were really questioning whether they were going to either graduate or be able to continue to move forward towards their goals. And each one was a different, unique story. But then to see them on the field at graduation, having had success, and knowing that back throughout the year, they would stop by or they would send an email and say, "Do you still believe I can do it?" And responding, "Yeah, you can do it. You have control over this. You just can't lose sight of what you're trying to accomplish." So those success stories are definitely the best part for me.
The best part. Yeah. And I we get to watch every kid that comes across the stage, and you remember them as freshmen. So when we think that, kids don't grow and mature, oh man, I mean, there's some kids amongst just this current class that I just have. I was also an AD the first, for one of their years of high school. So I was also able to see them in the hallways every day at the high school and what that looked like. And, there's some kids that freshman year was a little bit of a struggle, and I'm just glad they found their right direction and got through. I mean, because it's good.
Yeah. I was just thinking of, this actually happened just earlier this week. So last year had a student, had some struggles, had some behaviors, had some different things going on, had a lot of hard conversations with the student. Sometimes didn't see eye to eye. Sometimes the student was not a fan of me. But then the school year ended, they ended up moving away. And then I was down in lunch duty. This was, I think, on Tuesday. And Josh Schaefer called me and said, "Hey, you got a student here that wants to speak to you, a former student." I'm like, "I wonder who that could be." I walk down, it's that student and his grandpa, because his grandpa still lives in town.
Yeah.
He's back visiting him because they were out of school. came in and he said, yeah, he got up this morning and said he wanted to come to school and he wanted to talk to you. So like just realizing that even though you're having hard conversations, even though you're maybe not seeing eye to eye with people, you can still have an impact on those kids. So it was pretty cool. So I hadn't seen him, I hadn't had any communication with him since they left, and he decided he wanted to come back. So we were able to sit down and connect and talk for a little while, talk about how his school year was. So yeah. And then obviously I see them as middle schoolers, but then when I see the graduation list or go to graduation and watch seeing them walk, that's a
lot of fun.
Yep. It's awesome.
I would say another thing that I've come to enjoy the longer that I've been in this, and now, have the students of former students.
Yeah.
Over the years, you have thousands of students. So it's really hard to remember, and everybody changes as they get older. So when you go out in the community and you run into somebody that was a former student and they start to tell you about, what they're doing now and their families and all that, that's really rewarding also.
Yeah. I think I mentioned in my speech, one of the things I enjoy most is I love that I'm from here. And I knew a lot of their parents. So there's a lot of kids that walk across the stage that I know their mom and dad or their grandma and grandpa, or, went to school with me, and just to see them and see their kids be successful I enjoy seeing that a lot, so you both mentioned lunch duty. I think people got to understand that these guys don't just come to school and meet with kids, or, if kids are having a bad day, then they just sit around and do nothing all day. So is lunch duty in the top 10 of your favorite things to do within a day?
I will say that's the one thing. If my day gets interrupted, I don't miss lunch duty. Like when I said I have a schedule of my day, but things can come up. When something comes up that keeps me from lunch duty, I'm never too upset about that.
And high school lunch is pretty calm for the most part.
It is. I think it's very calm compared to, I listened to John Koenig talk about his lunch duty, and I think ours definitely is a little bit more calm than that.
A little difference between the preschool, kindergarten lunchroom and the high school lunchroom. Mm-hmm. And sixth grade or middle school is like herding cats a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Good time to connect with kids. Like I said, with other things, there's some kids that I don't really get to meet because they're doing everything they need to do all the time. But yeah, it's fun. I'm in a good spot though. So at the middle school, we have the main cafeteria, but we have an overflow down by the auditorium. So I'm down in the smaller auditorium lobby.
The overflow.
Yep. A nice overflow area. It's less kids. But yeah, I use it as a time to try to connect with some kids. Yeah. So
one thing about you two that I just notice, and I'm not in your buildings every day, but these two are really visible. So either at the start of the day or during the day or between class periods or at lunch or at the end of the day, you guys aren't just sitting around. Like I walk by your office very rarely, or either one of you ever in there, because usually if I'm around, I'll just say, hey, what's going on? How's it going? But very rarely when I walk through there, you guys are always up and around, and which is really important for kids to see you. And it does help, whether you have an appointment with them or they actually need something, but if they see you, it may trigger them to remind them like, oh, hey, I need to see you, Mr. Winter, Mr. Timmerman. Write me a pass. I need to come down.
Yeah. And our schedule kind of changed this year. We're kind of more similar to the high school where we have kids. Yeah. We used to have common exploratory. So like a kid, 7th grade would all have their PE, art, music would all be kind of at the same time. So it switched this year. So hallway is a lot of movement right away. So being out there just to help supervise is super important. We found that out real quick. So,
All right. Well, thank you two for joining me on the podcast today. Known you guys both for a really long time. I was just a young lad when I met Mr. Timmerman, and that's why I still call. It's really hard for me to. I can't call him by his first name. I still have to say Mr. Timmerman, and which is appropriate anyway within a school building. But it's hard. I cannot call Birnbaum anything but Mr. Birnbaum or Coach Birnbaum. It's just those are just really hard ones. I've known those people a long time. It's really hard to get out of that. And he could say, "Call me Ed all you want." I'm not probably going to call him Ed. So I just can't do it. So, but before we go, any last things you guys want to share or chat about within the school guidance world, or any big things on the horizon, or any focuses for next year, or whether it's building or personal?
Just thinking like big here, like families, like reach out to us. Like kids, I think, still want to be successful. Okay, they may not show it, they may not act like they want to be. I think they really want to be successful. So if we can build partnerships, with families, and get everybody involved, I think we're going to see a change and hopefully help your student out as best we can. We have a lot of families that do, and we have some that don't, but I think in the long run, everybody wants to see their kid be successful. So
and
building partnerships,
and I would agree,
and open communication would be huge.
And I would agree. And if people don't think that our graduation rates, we had a little jump this year, so we're climbing. We still got to go a little higher. But if we don't think those partnerships in middle school don't matter as we move through high school, and understanding the importance of coming to school, building a connection, not every kid's going to behave perfectly. We know that, but there is a fine line of behaving that we can't allow in school right before we have to ask you to leave. But we have options, and if you work with us, we're very open to solutions and trying to help you. Last thing we want, or any of us want to see, is a kid not coming to school or disengaging, and then they just magically they either leave school completely or they go to a different school, and we hate to see that.
And for me, the big thing coming is going to be the renovation at the high school.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be chaos. And sometimes students aren't going to know where they're going. Teachers might not know where they're going. Yep. It's just going to be a fun 3-4 years.
Yeah. I think trying to help teachers who are creatures of habit, and I love education and teachers, but they want to plan and they want it to look like this. And, we're Stacy or Miss Laird at the high school is doing a really good job of trying to figure out what all those moving parts are going to be, but it's going to affect you a little bit on where teachers are teaching and where kids are going. And so as long as everybody is patient, the end product will be really good. And we're starting on the canopy. So the canopy will be groundbreaking, I think, the middle of June. So that front entrance at the high school is going to get overhauled. The multi-purpose weight room facility, which has the theater area in it and stuff like that more towards the end of the summer. So it got pushed back a little bit with some timing, but we're still in really good shape. But I think all those upgrades, and then we'll jump into the high school and the pool and things like that. So I think people should be excited. You just got to be a little patient, because construction takes time.
I've been waiting 30 years, so I can wait a little bit longer.
You've been waiting 30 years. I hope my wife doesn't have to wait 30 years for me to finish this bathroom, because she has been getting after me. Like, I got to get this thing done. But we have kids, we're busy, so I'm plugging an hour in here or there to try to get that job done. But I promise she won't have to wait much longer. We'll get her done soon. So, well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate you guys joining me today and hopping on. So, once again, this podcast is proudly sponsored by CNOS and UnityPoint Orthopedics, valued partners of Fort Dodge Community Schools. Their commitment to student athletes' health helps keep our program strong and our kids competing safely. Thank you for supporting Dodger Nation. Closing off today's episode, just want to thank everybody. Graduation is, I get a little it's a little nerve-wracking a little bit. We have some kids, trying to push to get across the line. You got to have custodial staff set up, where we have it set up on the inside and outside. I get nervous because, whether you're checking the weather, if it's going to rain or we're going to be inside, outside. Knock on wood, 3 years in a row, we've been outside. We've moved to a Saturday night graduation the last 2 years now, 7:30. You can't find a better time to do a graduation. It's just the temperature was about perfect Saturday. The sun goes down, it's just Dodger Stadium is a beautiful place, and that place is packed. So whatever people want to say, people show up for graduation, and it's really nice to just see the amount of support that kids got from their families and friends. And now it's about 90 degrees out, and it's the heart of baseball and softball. So baseball and softball are playing 4 or 5 games a week right now. Last day of school is Thursday, the 28th. So close that off. Teachers are done June 1st, so it'll be their last day. And I think a lot of our admin are done around the second or third week of June. So before long, I will be in the office, and there'll be a few people around, and it gets kind of quiet for about a month and a half. We still work. We're still preparing. It's not like we are not doing anything. We have things going on. We're plenty busy, but it does kind of give everybody that little bit of a break in that summer schedule that Mr. Timmerman enjoys a lot. So absolutely, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
So just want to say thanks again for those that are following the podcast. So don't forget to go out to our Facebook page, Twitter, or Instagram and give us a follow or a like. So thanks again for following, whether you're a parent, student, or just a proud Dodger. Thanks for listening. Go Dodgers.
Thank you for listening to the Dodger Download, your source for all things Fort Dodge schools. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share with your friends, family, and fellow Dodgers. For more update and resources, visit us at fdschools.org or follow the Fort Dodge Community School District on social media. Until next time, keep showing that Dodger pride. This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.